you with the box. What was in the box? What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimbal and Limp, and I'm here with one that I am happy to be showing you all. This was sent to me by GMT, which I do appreciate. I had actually been talking to Mr. Colin Parsons here prior to this game's release and trading some old war stories when we got to talking about Fields of Fire. So he offered to get one sent to me so I could do an updated review about this game because I have covered both previous Fields of Fire. It was one of my, it kind of fell in a gray area. I love the game. I love the design of it. And I don't think there's any other game out there that accurately displays the chain of command and how orders filter down other than Fields of Fire. It really does a very good job with that. But my biggest critique of the game was the fact that it was so difficult to get into. The learning curve was quite steep, but they have taken steps to rectify that. And that's what I'm going to show you here. So if we yank this off right here, and this box is heavy. This is not like the previous Fields of Fire box. This is the deluxe edition, and it is heavy, 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 heavy. There's a lot of stuff in this box. First thing, this is the Series Rules 3rd edition, which this kind of worried me a little bit because when I flicked it open and looked at it, I'm like, it's kind of like the other one. But keep in mind, there's some stuff in here, down in here especially, that is going to change that up for you. Do note the nice change with the spiral bound rulebook. That's very nice. Makes it so much easier. You can just flick to whatever you need, lay it out, and it's much easier than trying to fold it down. So we've got our updated rulebook, and now here's where we get into something that they've included. And we talked about it, that when they were designing this game and getting it going, that they actually had some complete noobs to the game, to wargaming, sit down, try to learn the game, try to play it, see how all that worked, and what they could do to improve the learning aspect of the game. And I got to give them credit. They really did a good job with that. So here, this is basically not a rule book, but it's an example of playbook that's going to walk you through setting it up, playing it out, what all's happening, all that type of stuff. It kind of just walks you through the steps so you understand why you were doing the things that you're doing and how the orders work and how all that's being passed down. And the rule book is now designed in such a way that you're not supposed to just sit down and read it like a college textbook. You read a little bit of it, you do a little bit of this, you do a little bit of that, you play a little bit, and it kind of grows upon itself versus how it was previously. So that is a very nice thing that they've done. It makes it so much easier to get into this game, and this game really deserves to be gotten into. There's just some good stuff here. Fields of Fire, it's always been one of my favorites, just how good it is. It's very unique in its gameplay and how everything is played out. But it's excellent in how it performs that. And this one has multiple different time frames. There's World War II, there's Korea, and there's Vietnam. So there's a lot going in here. But after we get past those, let's see. Look at this. Look at this. We're gonna count the books. Let me count the ways. This is why this thing's so heavy. So we already got the rule book and Rifle Infantry Regiment Part 1. Here's Part 2, the Advanced Operations. Right, a little example. And again, look at that. That's perfect. Color, everything laid out, everything explained. This is excellent. This is good work to bring the game to that next level, to make it approachable and much easier for people to get into. It's still a deep game. Don't get me wrong, still a deep game. It's going to take you a little bit of time to get into it, but this makes that approach so much softer than it had been previously. This is much appreciated. But that's the 3rd book. Now we got the missions, basically. Keep Up the Fire, standalone mission, an example of play. That's another book. The 9th Infantry Regiment, Vietnam Campaign, mission book. And think of these as like your scenario books, right? So this is going to tell you what missions you're going on, what cards you need, all that good stuff, right? What you're laying out, what your battlefield's going to look like. Another book. 9th Infantry Regiment, Heartbreak Ridge. Another book. 9th Infantry Regiment, Manchows, forget it, I don't know how to say that one, but Nantong River Mission book. And here we've got another book. This is Normandy, again, 9th Infantry Regiment. Mission book, August 16th, 1944. I didn't even, how many did we count? How many books did we count? I forgot. All right, so besides the rulebook, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is a lot of books. But understand, there's a couple of books that are just teaching you the game. There's the rulebook, and then there's a book for each one of the campaigns, the bunches of scenarios that you're going to play. That's a lot of gameplay. That's a massive amount of gameplay. This one will occupy your time for many, many months if you sit there and just play this whole thing out. So that's all the books that come with it. Now let's dig in here and see what else we've got. Let's grab our counters out. Of course, we're going to need our countess. And oh god, this brings back happy memories because this is something I filmed way back in the day before I was as good as I am now. And again, I'm not great, but back when I was using old equipment, bad lighting, no microphone. So it's kind of nice to be able to come back to this with better equipment, do it proper, do it justice. So stuff like this, our company HQ, all these are your HQ and your commands available. That gets passed down through the line. Unless it's the company gunny. The company gunny rules all because he is the gunny. And then all our little special equipment like different smoke. And that's something really neat about this game. You can pop smoke and have that represent something. So if you pop red smoke, it means do this. If you pop blue or green or whatever smoke, it'll mean do something else. It was a way to issue visual orders to your troops out in the field. Definitely like that. Something I do notice though, these counters are going to have to be clipped. Oh, they're going to have to be clipped. That's fine. It's no big deal. Here we got some of our units, our assault guys, fire teams down here. Obviously tanks over here. And we've got some, looks like Hueys. Hueys, nice. I don't think I've played one of the Vietnam era ones yet, so that's going to be nice to try out. And what else do we have here? More different types of units. All of these are going to be your different units and or their commanders like you see here. Those are like the leaders of 1st platoon, 1st squad, 1st platoon, 2nd squad, on down the line for all our different leader sections. And then looks like we've got more for different ones, more fire teams, forward observers, artillery observers, runners, machine gunners. Oh god, this is going to be fun. And then this, of course, is our Germans, the opponents that we are going to be facing. See, we got machine gun ammo, mortar rounds. Is that recordless rifle? RCL? That might be what that is. I could be wrong. Artillery markers, exposed. You don't want to get exposed markers. That'll get your troops chewed up very, very quickly. Potential contacts, because they always turn into real contacts. Fighting holes, cover. Let's see, what is this? Upper stories. Airdropped illumination. We got some of our higher commands up here. We don't need these guys. They're not used for anything. They're sitting back on the COC doing jack and squat. More opponent counters, same thing. All the counters, they have some symbol to symbolize exactly what they are, whether they're rifles or they're machine guns or they're mortars, they're observers, whatever the case may be. And that looks like they've got a few admin stuff mixed in here. Claymores, love me some claymores. And then we've got the rest of our admin markers. Looks like we can promote some of our guys, get them veteran status. Main line of resistance, LZs, primary objectives. Oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. We're about halfway through the box. We're 2/3 through the box, and we've done the counters and all the books. So I can only imagine what all is still in here. This is going to be player aids. Oh yeah, I forgot GMT does the little comfy box thing down here at the bottom. So it all fits in there nicely. But a huge selection of different player aids, and this game is solitaire, so this is not going to be a whole lot of duplicates, I would imagine. Weapon capability charts. We're not going to go through all this just yet because we are going to be playing this game on camera and showing it off. It deserves that because this is one excellent game. And for them to come back with a deluxe edition of it definitely deserves the time of sitting down and playing it. Oh, this is new. I think this is new. I don't think we had this in the original Fields of Fire. I could be forgetting, but this does look new. I would assume this will be available online to be able to be printed out so you can write on it. You don't want to write on the ones that come with your game. And it looks like we've got a couple of different ones of these that come in there. Sequence of play. You can see that's a long sequence of play. And helicopter control card for the Marine Corps. That's right, baby. That's right. We kick ass. We take names. Air assault planning card. Yeah, see, I didn't do a whole lot of the Vietnam missions, so I didn't get to experience as much of this. I think I might have to go with Vietnam as the example of play. Vehicle and anti-weapon chart. And what we got on the back. Anti-tank combat resolution modifiers. Lots of stuff going on. Yeah, I was trying to remember what VOF, volume of fire. That's what that is. Volume of fire. Finally just popped up into my mind. All the different types of weapons that you can be firing. And here we go. Enemy defensive action check hierarchy. Front and back on that one. And oh yeah, this is our command display. I love this. This is where all those HQ counters are going to go. You're going to get so many of your command points. Those command points are going to be passed down from the company HQ, first platoon, second platoon, third platoon, your XO, first sergeant, company gunny, heavy machine gun. If you got any tanks, all that stuff gets passed down through as you get the commands. And it really, how's the best way to describe this? This game did a good job of representing the fact that the CO, it's not like, Roman days where the Roman commander is sitting out there on a horse saying, George, no. The CO who's making his call, he's passing that order down through the line, and it gets disseminated down to the individual squads and platoons who carry out the orders. And the way that works is, you could have the commander order first platoon, first squad, whatever, carry out a mission, but it's very, very ineffective. But if you pass that order down through the chain of command properly, you can activate more assets and get more things going on, because you won't have your highest guy just giving orders down to the individual squads. Generally, that's not what's going to happen. He's going to pass it down through, and that one order can kind of become many. It's hard to describe just looking at this, but just understand there's an efficient way to use your orders and an inefficient way to use your orders. Now, with the amount of forces that you fight, you really need to use them efficiently. So this is going to be front and back for our different theaters. And then here we get into our cards. And again, these are all going to be, I'm not going to pop them open yet, but it's going to be stuff like your terrain cards. So, hill, defensive modifiers, all that good stuff. These will have a fair amount of information on, and you'll set these up, and these will create your board. See, we've got some more like woods here. It might light kind of hard to see. Woods as an example, right? And then you have your action deck, and these cards are used for everything. There aren't, look, what do you see? What do you see is not in here? No dice. That's right. It's all done by card. All your checks, all your orders, like up here, this is the orders that you're getting. This, I think it was for combat checks. I can't remember specifically, but we'll get into that. All the information around these cards is used for everything. So you only have to draw from one deck of cards, but there's a lot of information on this deck. Not the deck, but the individual cards. And because of that, that's where some of that difficulty comes through. How to get those orders down, when you draw a card, what it means, what the effects are, any modifiers, all that good stuff. Very cool system. It just takes a little bit to get into it. And I think, again, that was my biggest critique of Fields of Fire when I first got into that game, was how high that barrier to entry was. It was worth it. It was definitely worth that barrier to entry, but it was very difficult to get past that. And now they've cut into that and taken away the biggest fault the game had, which was its huge, difficulty curve. So that is a nice change. I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Comes with a lot of components. You got 3 different campaigns in here that you can choose from, multiple different friendly units, enemy units that you can be fighting. Like I said, the amount of content in this game is truly magnificent. There's a huge amount of gameplay. If you are interested in the command structure, ordering your troops correctly, taking the battlefield, you want to use things like cover. You want to send forth like skirmishers to find out what's ahead on that upcoming card. You don't generally order just a mass wave running forward, because that's a good way to get all your guys killed. If they suddenly find out that next terrain card is a empty field and they've got fields of fire all lined up on it, you'll just get chewed up. So there's a best way that you're going to move your troops forward to find out what's ahead. Recon by fire, get them into cover when they do get there so they can survive and they get better modifiers in their favor. And now, thanks to all the information in here, we are going to be able to get into that a hell of a lot easier. So yeah, definitely when I was reading up on this and going through some of these materials, you don't want to just sit there and read the rules. I mean, you can if you want to, but I wouldn't. Do it their way. Read some of the rules to where it says stop, do some of that example of play, and learn the game slowly, and it'll be a lot easier than just sitting there trying to memorize this. That'll burn you up. Don't do that. But anyway, you guys stay tuned. Fields of Fire, the Deluxe Edition, game design by Ben Hall, development by Andrew Stead and Colin Parsons. I will be covering this very soon. I am going to take a little time, sit with it, go through a few games myself, get a good grasp of it, and then pull it out to film it properly. So it'll be a few weeks before I get it on the table, but I wanted to show you guys what all came in this box and why I am very impressed with the changes they've made between the previous editions and this now Deluxe Edition. And there's some more Fields of Fire goodness coming as well. So you guys stay tuned to learn about that. All right, that's going to be it for me. Y'all take care. I'll catch you in the next one.